Welcome to the daily voiceover huddle. And by the way, today I'm coming to you from within my voiceover community, the school community. We're doing it live. If you're watching this on social media, it's later in the day for you, but I invite you to join us for the daily huddles live in our group, and you can join the community at school SKOOL school.com/VoFlow. And for those of you guys who are here live this morning, thank you for being here. This is a little different. I've changed my location too. I came upstairs into my kitchen. Everything's a little bit new here. Hold on just a second. I just realized something, and that is, hey, John, I've got some notes here, and I can't see them when I'm in full screen mode. So we're gonna do this. See, I'm learning stuff already. What I can and what I cannot do. There we go. Okay, so I thought we'd talk about pay to play sites a little bit. How many of you guys are on pay to play sites? Sheila, okay, Sheila, what site or sites are you on right now? You're muted.
Am on Voices until June.
Okay.
That expires in June, and I'm on Bodoggle. Um,
Do tell. I sense there's a little something there you wanna say.
Bodoggle, I hear a lot of good things about it, and a lot of people really like the guy that started it. I think his
Yeah,
name is Armin.
yeah.
But the thing with Bodoggle for me is that a lot of the audition invites come in the middle of the night, and
Because
by
it's
the
yeah,
time I get them,
based out of Europe.
yeah,
I'm guessing
which I realize, yeah.
most of the clients who post there are from Europe as well.
I mean, they have some US clients that post there as
Do
well,
they?
I've
Okay.
noticed, but yeah, that's many of them, not all of them come, in the middle of the night. And Voices, I don't know, it started out really good. I did not really understand what that whole algorithm thing was,
Yeah,
until you started talking about it, and I got shortlisted a couple of times. I did get a job on there, and I would see tons of new listings every day, and then it slowed down around Christmas, and I said, "Well, it's holiday season, maybe that's the issue."
yeah.
But then I found out.
Well, you've pointed out a couple of the tough areas, and, it doesn't matter what marketing channels you guys use, there's always challenges to
Mhm,
anything that you're going to do, but the question is where are you gonna get the best return? I got involved with when I first started voiceover in 2006, one of the first things I did was I signed up with voices.com and Voice123. Of course, it was a different scenario, the market was different then, the platforms were different then, there weren't nearly the number of people on the platforms that there are now. It was a different ballgame, although there was a lot of mudslinging from the voiceover community at the platforms because it was the new thing. So therefore, it was the bad guy. The way people talk about AI today is very similar to what they were talking about pay to play in 2006. It's really cool. Whatever the new thing is, has to be prepared to take all kinds of abuse. And what's funny now is no, you rarely hear anybody say anything negative about. I mean, they may talk about how difficult it is or those kind of things, but they don't see it as a threat to their jobs necessarily. So I wanted to talk again specifically about the platform, maybe the good, the bad, and the ugly things to be aware of. I think it's good to have multiple marketing channels as you guys know, and really what this community is about direct marketing. And I'll tell you why I'm so sold on that in just a moment. But I think it's good to have multiple channels. But one thing I would suggest would be to never make a pay to play a primary channel because if it's the primary way you depend on your job, it puts you at a disadvantage from the very beginning. One of the good things about pay to plays is there's a lot of voice seekers on there. They go there to hire people. But by the same token, there is a lot of voice talent. And I couldn't give you exact numbers, but it's many, 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 many thousands of people that are on there. And and there's two ways to play the game. One is by cattle call auditioning, and the other is by being found in the searches. And in pay to play, there's a challenge with both of those things. First of all, the cattle call auditions are brutal. They were hard early on, but they've become nearly impossible. Sheila, I'm just curious, or anybody who, if you're on a pay to play, do you know what your like win ratio is? Like auditions to jobs won? And if you don't, that's fine. I was just curious.
No, I've only had 1 job, so, and I slowed the auditions down quite a bit, so I don't know what the ratio
How
is,
many auditions do you think
but
you have a guess of how many you've done? Is it over 100?
it might be now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, and,
that's
a lot of times when I see them and you see how many people I mean, a lot of times when I by the time I see them, there's been a ton of auditions already posted to that one particular job.
and you just brought up my next
It's
bullet
really
point.
hard for me to get in the first, like, 10 or 20. Yeah.
Well, I had a conversation with one of the higher ranking employee of voices.com a while back who told me that most jobs are booked by somebody that's in the first 20 that audition. So if you're not in the first 20, it becomes really difficult because the chances of you
Mhm.
even getting listened to, you know, come pretty slim. Now, the other way to win jobs on pay to play is by being found in the search. Yeah, I would say roughly half people will post jobs for auditions. The other half will just look for people. And if you understand that, you can position yourself to be found easier. But there's a problem with that too, and that is with these different paid tiers now on the pay to play platform. And by the way, I used to pay like $5,000 a year to be on Voices or Voice 123, which I was in a position I could do that at that time. But it puts you at a when you can do that, you're at a great advantage over everybody else because they prioritize you
Mhm.
in every aspect in terms of you get the auditions before everybody else does, and you also are found in the searches before everybody else is. That's what you're paying for. So, you may pay $3.99 and think, "Oh, great, I'm on the platform." Well, you are, but it also kind of puts you at the back of the line. You take what you get at that point. And I'm not trying to be overly
Mhm.
negative. I'm just trying to say these are the
Mhm.
things to be aware of. Not that you can't get work doing that. You can. But again, these are some of the reasons why I would never make it a primary. Perhaps the biggest thing is this. You don't own that marketing channel. It's all contingent upon whether it's Baldago or voices.com or Voice 123, and I have nothing against those platforms, by the way.
Mhm.
I have no
Mhm.
beef at all. I've allowed my subscriptions to expire on all of them. I don't use any of them anymore, but it's not because I think they're bad. I found a better way to do it. Although, again, like I said, it would be a good secondary or tertiary way to have different marketing channels out there.
Bill, my experience
I
has been the same thing. I used to be on voices.com, and,
Yeah,
I did about 130 auditions, and my ratio was 130 to 0. However, I was shortlisted 3
what was?
times.
Well,
So,
and
it
that's
was nice to
okay.
be shortlisted. I was like,
Yeah,
"Woo!" But it
yeah, yeah, and that's good. And with time, you work to improve your win ratio, but in earlier on, that curve might be fairly steep, but after a while, you kind of realize, okay, it doesn't matter how good I am, I still got to audition a heck of a
Mhm.
lot, to win those jobs. Another challenge is the terms of service
Mm.
of those platforms. And the primary thing is to be aware of is that they own the relationship with the clients. You don't. And so if you get caught trying to communicate off platform, you can be booted, lose your membership and be booted off of there. And that for me, that I want to be able to own the channels I want to be able to control those. I want to be able to communicate when I want to and how I want to. And so it makes it very transactional because you can't build it's very difficult to build a relationship with a client on a pay to play. I'm not saying it's impossible. And I have clients today that I got years and years ago. And now we work together, personally. Took a lot of years to develop those, but it's increasingly transactional, meaning, what they're doing, they're coming there, they just want to cast a job. They don't care if it's me, they don't care if it's you. They just want to find the best voice, but you're just a voice. So chances are they're not really going to get to know you or develop that relationship where I want a relationship with people that know me and trust me and know that I'm going to do what I say that I'm going to do so that they continue to use me over and over again. Is that making sense? Yeah. So again, I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but you have to go into anything that you do, I think, with eyes wide open and just understand what the good, the bad, and the ugly is, and what you're dealing with, and what you're up against. And that's why I so strongly, strongly suggest direct marketing, and which is why we're doing the VoFlow thing. And so for those who, again, who are watching this on social media later, as opposed to our live group, and by the way, do hope you'll join us for the live group. Would love to have you here. Would invite you to come in and learn more about what we're doing to make it, to allow you to connect with clients, to nurture those relationships, to nurture them into not just clients, but into repeat clients. That's the exciting things. And yesterday we had some, exciting things to talk about in our weekly meeting, some of the newer technology, and looking forward to hearing your feedback as you start to use those things and let us know, how that's going. Any other questions you guys had or thoughts? Okay. All right. How many cups of coffee are you guys in so far this morning? Still on my first.
Me too. So my first.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for being here. We'll do it again tomorrow. Same time.